Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're heading north, way north, to explore a country that's bigger than you think, possibly even politer than you think, and definitely weirder than you think. We're talking about Canada, eh? Now, when you think of Canada, what comes to mind? Maple syrup? Hockey, people saying sorry all the time? Well, sure, Canada has those things, but this vast nation, the second largest country on earth by area, is so much more than just its stereotypes. Did you know Canada has more lakes than every other country in the world combined? Or that parts of it are so cold, they recorded temperatures that make Mars look balmy? Or that its national animal is a giant buck-toothed rodent? Spoiler, it's a beaver, and we'll get to why. Over the next 15 minutes or so, we're going on a whirlwind tour of the Great White North, and the Great Green West, and the Great Coastal East, and everything in between. We'll dive into jaw-dropping geography, uncover its fascinating history, from ancient peoples to modern nationhood, meet its diverse population, explore its unique culture, marvel at its incredible wildlife, and of course, sprinkle in plenty of those quirky fun facts that make Canada, well, Canada. So grab your toque, maybe some double coffee, and get ready to explore the true North, strong and free, and maybe a little bit strange. Let's go. Okay, let's talk size. Canada is huge. Seriously. It's the second largest country on the planet, covering nearly 10 million square kilometers. That's bigger than the entire European Union. It stretches so far, it crosses 6 different time zones. So, while someone in Newfoundland is having lunch, people in Vancouver are just waking up to their morning coffee. Despite its immense size, Canada is incredibly sparsely populated. Think about this. It has less than 0.5% of the world's population. Most Canadians live clustered within about 300 kilometers or 185 miles of their southern border with the United States. Speaking of that border, it's the longest international border in the world, stretching almost 8,900 kilometers or 5,500 miles. And get this, it's also the longest undefended border on Earth. Pretty friendly neighbors, eh? But Canada isn't just big, it's incredibly diverse geographically. Forget the stereotype of just snow and ice. Although, yes, the Arctic North is dominated by ice, snow, and glaciers, but travel south and you'll find majestic western mountains like the Rockies and the Coast Range, perfect for skiing or just staring at in awe. Head east from the mountains and you'll hit the rolling Central Plains, the breadbasket of Canada, vast prairies stretching as far as the eye can see. Keep going east and you'll find the forested valleys and the ancient Rocky Canadian Shield, a massive geological area covering much of central and eastern Canada. And the coastline, oh the coastline. Canada boasts the longest coastline of any country in the world, over 200,000 kilometers. If you decide to walk it, pack plenty of snacks. It would take you over 4.5 years. That's a lot of beach walks. Let's not forget the water. Canada is practically drowning in lakes, literally. It has more lakes than the rest of the world combined. Estimates range over 2 million. These lakes, along with its numerous rivers like the mighty St. Lawrence and Mackenzie, hold about 20% of all the fresh water on our planet. In fact, almost 9% of Canada's entire surface area is covered in fresh water. And yes, it can get cold, really cold. The record low was a mind-numbing minus 63 degrees Celsius. That's negative 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Brrr. So from tundras to towering mountains, vast plains, ancient shields, endless coastlines, and more lakes than you can count, Canada's geography is anything but monotonous. It's a land of incredible scale and breathtaking diversity. Canada's story didn't begin with Europeans arriving on its shores. For thousands of years, long before any Viking or Frenchman set foot here, diverse groups of indigenous peoples called this vast land home. The very first people arrived somewhere between 15,000 and 30,000 years ago, likely crossing a land bridge that once connected Asia and North America. Even the name Canada has indigenous roots. It comes from the Huron-Iroquois word Kanata, meaning village or settlement. When French explorer Jacques Cartier arrived in the 16th century, he heard the word used to describe a local village and mistakenly applied it to the entire region. Talk about a misunderstanding with big consequences. Now, while Cartier and the French were early European players, they weren't technically the first. Around 1000 AD, the famous Viking explorer Leif Erikson actually landed in Newfoundland. He tried to set up shop, but the settlement didn't last. Imagine Viking longboats on Canadian shore 500 years before Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Fast forward to the 16th and 17th centuries, and both the French and the British were seriously vying for control of this resource-rich land, primarily for the lucrative fur trade. This rivalry led to numerous conflicts, including the famous French and Indian War, which ultimately left Britain in control by 1763. But French influence remained incredibly strong, especially in Quebec. On July 1st, 1867, a date now celebrated as Canada Day, something momentous happened. 4 colonies, Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick, joined together in confederation to form the Dominion of Canada, a largely self-governing entity within the British Empire. Other provinces and territories joined over the following decades. But Canada wasn't fully independent just yet. While it gained complete self-governing status within the British Empire in 1931, it couldn't even amend its own constitution without British permission. That final step didn't happen until relatively recently, on April 17, 1982, when Queen Elizabeth II signed the Constitution Act, finally giving Canada full control over its own laws and future. A nation born not necessarily through revolution, but through negotiation and evolution. Canada actually celebrated Thanksgiving before the United States, by explorer Martin Frobisher to give thanks for surviving his perilous journey. So, next time you're craving a turkey, remember Canada got there first. Who are Canadians? Well, there isn't just one answer. With a population now estimated at over 40 million people, Canada is a vibrant tapestry woven from cultures all around the globe. Historically, about half the population traces its roots back to British and French immigrants, which is why Canada is officially bilingual. You'll see English and French on signs, product labels across the country. French culture is particularly strong in the province of Quebec, where over 3/4 of the population speak French as their primary language. It has its own distinct feel, from the architecture to the food to the passionate debates about, well, everything. But the story doesn't stop there. Canada proudly embraced an official policy of multiculturalism back in 1971, and today it's considered one of the world's most successful multicultural societies. People have come from every corner of the earth: Europe, Asia, Latin America, Africa, bringing their traditions, languages, and food, making Canadian cities incredibly diverse and exciting places to be. Over 200 different languages are spoken as mother tongues in Canada. You'll hear significant populations speaking languages like Punjabi, Italian, German, Cantonese, and Tagalog. Now, about those stereotypes. Canadians are generally known for being polite. The sorry thing? Yeah, it happens. A lot. Maybe it's just ingrained politeness, maybe it's a verbal tic, maybe they're genuinely sorry for bumping into you, even if it wasn't your fault. But beyond politeness, Canadians often see themselves as favoring community and orderly government, perhaps a bit more reserved than their southern neighbors, and often taking on the role of peacemaker on the world stage. Culturally, Canada has given the world some absolute icons. Think actors like Ryan Reynolds, Jim Carrey, Rachel McAdams, and Sandra Oh. Musicians like Celine Dion, Drake, The Weeknd, and Shania Twain. Even one of the creators of Superman, Joe Shuster, was Canadian. While ice hockey is undeniably king, the official summer sport is actually lacrosse, a game with deep Indigenous roots. Food-wise, Canadians apparently consume more Kraft mac and cheese per capita than any other nation. Comfort food champions. And then there's the Caesar cocktail, Canada's unofficial national drink. A spicy concoction made with vodka, tomato juice, spices, and, wait for it, clam broth. Yes, clamato. Hey, but don't knock it till you try it. Okay, let's talk money. Or as Canadians say, loonies and toonies. Canada packs a serious economical punch. It boasts a highly developed mixed economy, consistently ranking amongst the world's largest. Think top 10. Historically, Canada's wealth was built on its vast natural resources. The fur trade was so crucial in the early years that the beaver, prized for its pelt, became the national animal. Fish, timber, and minerals also played huge roles, and Canada remains a major global player in resource extraction today. But Canada's economy is far from stuck in the past. It's a world leader in agricultural production. Those vast prairies aren't just for show. It's also at the forefront of telecommunications and energy technologies. Plus, remember Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone in Ontario back in 1876? that spirit of innovation continues. Trade is massively important, especially with its southern neighbor. The vast majority of Canadian exports head straight to the United States. Canada is a key member of the international economic groups like the G7, the group of 7 largest advanced economies, and the trade agreement linking it with the US and Mexico. Currently known as the USMCA, but formerly known as NAFTA. And now for some economic quirks. We mentioned the beaver, but how about maple syrup? Quebec alone produces around 70% of the world's supply, and Canada overall accounts for about 85%. That's a whole lot of pancake topping. And have you ever handled Canadian cash? Since 2011, their banknotes haven't been made of paper, but a durable polymer plastic. They're waterproof, hard to counterfeit, and supposedly last longer. You could probably even take them swimming. Though maybe don't try that with your wallet. If you love the great outdoors, Canada is paradise. With its vast wilderness areas, it's teeming with incredible wildlife. We're talking iconic creatures like the majestic moose, powerful grizzly and black bears, elusive wolves, and of course, the industrious beaver, the national animal we met earlier. Depending on where you are, you might encounter herds of bison roaming the prairies, sleek mountain lions in the western ranges, caribou and mighty musk ox migrating across the northern tundra, or smaller critters like raccoons, otters, and rabbits pretty much everywhere. Canada takes protecting its natural heritage seriously. It boasts 41 national parks and several marine conservation areas, and some of these parks are mind-bogglingly huge. Wood Buffalo National Park is larger than the entire country of Switzerland. It was established to protect the last remaining herds of wood bison. Talk about a worthy cause. Remember all those lakes and rivers? They're not just pretty, they support incredible aquatic life, including prized fish like trout and salmon. And those vast forests, Canada is home to about 10% of the entire world's forests. Now, for a truly wild Canadian experience, head to Churchill, Manitoba, on the shores of the Hudson Bay. It's known as the polar bear capital of the world. Every autumn, polar bears gather here waiting for the sea ice to form so they can hunt seals. It's one of the few places where humans and polar bears coexist in such close proximity. Things get so real that locals often leave their car doors unlocked, just in case someone needs to make a very quick escape from a curious bear. Seriously. Alright, we've sprinkled some quirky facts throughout, but let's do a quick rapid fire round of some uniquely Canadian oddities and awesome tidbits. Ready? Go! Walled City. Quebec City is the only fortified city in north of Mexico whose walls still exist. Step back in time. Highway Star. The Trans-Canada Highway is one of the longest national highways in the world, stretching nearly 8,000 kilometers from coast to coast. Lakes, lakes, lakes. We said it before, but it bears repeating. More lakes than the rest of the world combined. Maple Mania. Canada produces about 85% of the world's maple syrup. Well, isn't that sweet? Plastic Fantastic. Canadian money is made of polymer plastic, waterproof and tough. Beaver Power. The beaver isn't just a cute face, it's a national animal, thanks to its role in the fur trade. Sporting Split. Ice hockey is the winter national sport, but lacrosse takes the crown in the summer. Polar Bear Town. Churchill, Manitoba, where you might need to dive into an unlocked car to escape a polar bear. Park size. Some national parks, like Wood Buffalo, are bigger than entire countries like Switzerland. Sorry, not sorry. Canadians really do say sorry a lot. It's practically a national reflex. Phew! That's just a taste of the fun and fascinating things hiding within this massive country. Canada is full of surprises. And there you have it, a whirlwind tour through the vast, vibrant, and sometimes very quirky nation of Canada. From its staggering size and breathtaking landscapes to its unique history, its incredibly diverse people, its dynamic economy, and its wild heart, Canada truly is a country of contrasts and surprises. It's a place where you can find some of the oldest rocks on Earth and cutting-edge technology, where French and English mingle with hundreds of other languages, where cities buzz with multicultural energy just a stone throws away from immense wilderness, and where the national animal is a beaver, the national drink involves clam juice, and saying sorry is practically an art form. We've seen it's the second largest country with the longest coastline, home to more lakes than anywhere else, a major economic superpower, a leader in multiculturalism, and the source of 85% of the world's maple syrup. So, hopefully, you've learned something new and maybe even chuckled a few times along the way. Canada is far more than just snow and stereotypes. It's a complex, fascinating, and beautiful country with a story still unfolding. What was your favorite Canadian fact? Did anything surprise you? Let us know down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to tap that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more adventures around the globe. Thanks for watching. And until next time, stay curious, eh?